Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to resolve the lightning lab for one of the Udemy course uh, hosted in Code Cloud. So when the page is loading, basically during the examination, you can use Kubernetes IO docs. This is the official document which can be used during your examination. So I recommend you to use this search for kubectl commands and to look for this particular thing, reference generated, use it as another open tab, because in case for most of the time you will be using the Kubernetes kubectl command. This will be highly useful during your examination. Okay, let's go back to the exam. So here the first question is all about the storage. So basically you need to create your persistent volume, persistent claim, and then you need to use that persistent volume claim inside your part. So let me go and create the persistent volume. If you do not know how to create, you always can use a document. For here, I'm going to use the document to create the same persistent volume. So you will be having both volume and claim. So, but for the exam, for the first one, within the first question, we need to use the persistent volume first. Okay, I'm going to copy this. The reason is that you go back to the question, you have the host path and you need to have some storage class. So it has all that information in this one. So basically you can find out what is relevant for your question. Based on that, you can copy that manifest file and use it in your terminal. Okay, so for the persistent volume, the name of the persistent volume is log-volume and capacity is 1 gig. This is not needed. Okay, it is read write x, that means read write many, but the one what I copied that contains read write one, so changing that one to many, and this is not needed, and this one is going to be manual. You see here the storage class is manual. I'm going to change that to manual. I don't need this 3 lines, and instead of NFS it's going to be a post path. And path is going to be OPT volume nginx. I don't need this line. Okay, I think we are good for the persistent volume. Now let's go and create the persistent volume claim. Going back to the same document, same link, search for claim, copy till here. Okay, because I'm not going to use any of this information, that's why copying only what is needed. pi pvc.yaml. So your persistent volume claim name is log-claim, and again this is going to be a read write many. This is not needed. Oh, escape you. This is going to be 200 MI, and your storage class name is going to be manual. kubectl create -f. I'm creating the persistent volume first. If you look at the get pv, PV is the short name of persistent volume. It is currently available. Once I create the persistent volume claim, this will get bound to the persistent volume claim. CTL get PV PVC. Yeah, you see here previously it was available, now it became bound. That means you are good to use this persistent volume claim inside your part. Okay, let me clear the screen. kubectl run, so run logger image equal to nginx. I'll find dry or get stuck. Okay, dry run equal to client -o like one dot. I'm still rewriting this to one.yaml because we need to edit, we need to add this information, the amount and everything. vi one.yaml. Okay, going back to the documentation, search for the part. So basically you are going to use a persistent volume claim as a volume, and then you are going to mount as the path that is given in the question. Okay, so I can simply copy this. Instead insert so our claim name is persistent volume claim is log hyphen claim. So nothing but this is a name, this name, and this one should match. So about name my PD, it can be any name. So go down here, you need to create volume so my PD. Okay, and then mount path. So this one has to be this one. You can copy this, shift insert, kubectl create hyphen f one.yaml ctl. Okay, describe what I'm just making sure everything is created as expected. You look at here the persistent volume claim, and the claim name is log claim, and the mount path is the one what we gave it. Everything is good. That means we have completed the question number 1. Moving on to the second question. Clear the screen. Okay, the question 2 is there are two parts. The secure part also having the corresponding service, secure service, and there is one more part called web app color. Right now there are issues in connecting between these two parts. To make these two parts to work, we need to set some policies. Basically we have to create a network policies from basically it's the incoming, right? So basically you have to create ingress policy type from this web app to connect to secure part. Okay, let me show you what we have right now. Get pods -o white show label. So the reason why I'm using a show label, because in when you create your network policy, you need to define this label name inside your manifest file. Okay, the problem statement here reads execute -it from this part. Okay, before doing that, kubectl get service, and listening to the port 80, kubectl execute -it http secure service is too slow. Okay, 80 Okay, so if you see it's taking a longer time, that means the connection between web app, there is no incoming traffic from web app color to the secure part. Okay, so giving control C, let me go and create a network policy, net pol dot yaml. So after running the policy, basically it will allow you to allow the incoming traffic from web app color to secure part. Okay, let me go to the documentation, search for network policy. Okay, always make sure that you are within Kubernetes IO/docs. Okay, I'm copying the entire one. Let me repeat again. This one has both policy type ingress and egress, but we don't need a egress here because the question is all about create a network policy for the incoming traffic from this part to secure part. So I'm deleting the unwanted thing like egress, which is not needed. And then I don't need egress policy type. Okay, the port is 80, which already have seen it, change to 80. Okay, let me go here. So you can do the ingress policy type on 3 category. One is IP, namespace selector, and part selector. But here we are going to go with the question is all about the network policy between the parts. So we have to use the part selector. So I'm removing the other 2 category, the IP and the name selector. Remember I told that in the beginning, we need to use a label. So that's why I asked you to remember the from part is nothing but from this part you have to write the ingress policy to call the secure part. Okay, so since you see I have ingress and from, you have to change this to name. Okay, this is an name of this to indentation. Back color and go back. This is run. Run secure part. Because I easily remember this because I did previously I executed this before recording this video. That's why I remember. Whenever if you have a question, always save it and go back and check for the labels. Since I knew this already, that's why it's there in my mind. So run secure part is the label of that secure part, and name colon web app color is the name of the web app color part. So saving it, kubectl create -f net policy.yaml. If you see previously, I was getting an error. The objective is to enable the incoming traffic. Okay, now if you go and execute the same, it's going to work. Yeah, see here, that's what. Okay, that means the question 2 is complete. Going back to the third question. Let me clear the screen. Okay, this is all. The question is all about the config map, and you need to use that config map as an environment variable for the part time check. And then there is a one more volume mode also is given. So let me show you how to resolve this one. First, we need to make sure that we have this namespace kubectl get ns. So we don't have the namespace, so copy this. Let's create the namespace first. Okay, so I just want to show you the kubectl commands, right? Create and config map. Okay, if you see here, you can copy from here in case we don't know the command, because documentation is our documentations. Kubectl IO docs are allowed during your examination. Going back to the terminal, kubectl create CM, but I highly recommend you to buy all these commands. It will be highly useful, so it can save some time. kubectl create CM time config -n from literal equal to time frequency equal to 10. I think a good time underscore frec equal to 10. Oh, I didn't create the name. kubectl create ns. Okay, namespace is created. I'm re-executing the previous command. So now your config map is created. kubectl gets cm -n. Okay, config map is there with having one data, which is time underscore frec. Okay, now we need to create the pod time check using the image busy box, and then we are going to have some command line which is going to we are going to use this command that will redirect to this log file, and then we are going to read this log file from the volume mounts. Okay, let's see how to do it. kubectl run time check is the name of the pod -n, and then image equal to busy box. Try run, since we need to modify a few things. I'm using try run -yaml -bin /sh-c single quotes. Copy this entire line. Shift insert. Redirect to this log file. Close the single bracket and rewrite to 3.yaml. vi 3.yaml. Okay, so now we need to use the config map variable time frec, because if you look at here, this time frec is a variable coming from the config map. That means we need to use as an environment variable in our part. So going back to the documentation, search for the config map. So I'm going to copy this line, okay? Because since we have only one variable, I'm going to just copy this. Shift insert. Let me fix the indentation. Delete env and should be 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so name of our config map is time underscore config time config, and the key name is going to be time frec. Time underscore frec. In case if you wanted to, let's say if it is going to be a different variable, then you can have a different variable. So but we are going to use the same variable. You can use it in a different way too, but yeah, this is one of the way where you can use like the way I'm explaining now. Sorry. Escape by time underscore frec I think we are good. And now there is a path, volume path, right? So we need to add that as well. Going here, SKO, volumes, if a name, test volume, MTTR. Volume, months, name this test volume should match, and then month path equal to slash opt slash time kubectl create f3.yaml. Just checking. Okay. kubectl execute -it. I'm making sure everything is good. I check -n. So the variable what we define, that means the variable should have updated inside. So going to inside the pod cat copy. Okay, this is good. So with this we are completing the question number 3. Let me quickly read what we have done. This is a kind of bigger question. So first we created that namespace, and then with that namespace using the config, but then we have created the config map with the literal time frag equal to 10, and then we are using that as an environment variable, because you look at the shell command, we are having one of the variable which is nothing but your config map. That's why we are passing that as an environment variable, and then we are mounting that path slash opt. That's why we are using volumes and volume mounts. Okay, let me clear the screen. Going back to the 4th question now. Okay, this is all about the deployment strategy. kubectl create deployment. Okay, in case you do not know the command, go here kubectl create, look for deployment, and you can copy any of this based on what is your need. You copy that and use that in your terminal. kubectl create deployment nginx -deploy image equal to nginx colon 1.16 replica count equal to 4, and then try run, because I need to do few more changes. We need to change our strategy as rolling update, and then we need to add some of the features of the rolling update, max surge equal to 1 and max unavailable equal to 2. Client try run equal to client -o YAML, and this is the 4th question, vi4.yaml. So rolling update is the default strategy. Since it's given, I'll show you how to do that. Since there's a strategy, right now it is empty. Remove that empty and then do the escape work, type rolling update. In case if you do not know, as always you can refer the document rolling update, search for the rolling update, look for the documentation, help, type here. Okay, and then copy this as well, because we have that as well, the rolling update max available equal to, in our question is 2. So okay, so I'm just saying that we need to copy this as well later. So rolling update, so yeah, we have to give to indentation, rolling update. So copy max search equal to 1, max unavailable equal to 2. Okay, what happens whenever you do a deploying or upgrading the deployment? Let's say if your replica is 4, it will increase to 5 so that it will not give any downtime. So it will always make sure that it will increase by 1 only. It will deploy only 2 at a time to make sure that there is no downtime as part of the deployment. That's what it is. Max surge equal to 1, max unavailable equal to 2, and yeah, we are good. Saving it. Okay, one more thing, they have mentioned that container name called nginx. So go here, the name is nginx, which is already good. Otherwise you need to fix it. kubectl create -f o.yaml. kubectl get deployment nginx deploy. Okay, all 4 are up, and now they're asking us to upgrade to 1.17. You can do it in 2 ways, like kubectl edit deployment nginx deploy, and you can go and modify, like changing the nginx colon 1.16 to 1.7, or you can change it using the command line kubectl set image deployment, and deployment name is nginx deploy, and your container name is nginx equal to nginx colon 1.17. Okay, if you look at here, so it's always do 2 at a time. I was about to show, but it was pretty quick anyway. So deployment is completed. So you can check the kubectl rollout history deployment. This is a command nginx -deploy. So basically 2 revision. One first with the 1.16, and then we change the image from 1.16 to 1.7. That's why you see 2. Then what they are asking, finally once all pods are updated, undo the update. So here you can do it in 2 ways. kubectl undo deployment, rollout. You can always refer the documentation kubectl in case you don't know the command. kubectl or rollout. Where is a rollout? Yeah, it's here. Rollout, and whatever I am typing, so you also can see this here in the commands. Going back to the terminal, rollout undo deployment nginx. If I do undo, it can easily go to 2. Sometimes in the exam they will ask you to go to the specific revision. In that case, 2 revision equal to 1. So yeah, since it's only 1 and 2, you need not to give this, but it's better to know the purpose of -2 revision. Okay, so giving 1, and then I'm just making sure it's rolled back to previous one or not. kubectl now we start with 1.16 and then 1.17, and then we roll back. That means the current state of the deployment should have the image equal to 1.16. Before that, let me check the history. Rollout history deployment nginx deploy. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3. Okay, let me clear it. kubectl describe deployment nginx deploy. I'm scraping image, yeah, which is good. 1.16. With this we are completing the question number 4. Here's the screen. Going back to the next. Okay, so this is like a little lengthier question. So basically we have to create a deployment Redis with a replica count 1 with the image equal to Redis alpine and label equal to app equal to Redis, and basically it has 2 volumes. So it will be having 2 volumes, 2 volume mounts, and the port they have given is 6379. Let me create the basic stuff. And then I forgot to mention that they are also saying that the resource quota is for this particular deployment is 0.2 CPU. kubectl create deployment redis if an image equal to redis alpine hyphen replicas default is 1, but still I'm giving it. And then let's go. Okay, dry run equal to client hyphen OVL, storing it to file.yaml. Okay, I missed one. They mentioned the port number also. Let me give port equal to 6379. 6379 pi file.yaml. Okay, so now let's solve the point to CPU. Go back to your document, search for quotas. Resources. Okay, basically we need to copy the resources request. Okay, let me copy this entire line. So if you look at here, there it is empty. Insert. Indentation 1 2. Maybe there is no need for memory. Here we have to make it 0.2. 0.2, and then there is 2 resources. Let me delete this line. Okay, we completed until here. So now they are asking that there is going to be 2 volumes. Okay, they have mentioned that there is a config map, Redis config map is already created. Let me confirm that. kubectl get cm is a short name for config map, which is already there. Okay, so we are going to use this Redis config as one of the another volume for the volume mount Redis master, and then there is one more volumes empty directory with the name data, and volume mount is going to be redis-master underscore data. Let me add that in the file.yaml file. Okay, it's coming back. I have to create 2 volumes. SKO volumes name. First one is data, and is going to be a empty directory. Okay, and second one is going to be Redis config. The name is given as Redis config. And if you want to mount your config map as a volume, go back to your document, search for config map, click this and search for, okay, I can click something else. Control F, kind, what? Okay, this is basically I need to copy this. Okay, config map and name my config map. So going back to the terminal, map, name equal to Redis config. Okay, now we have to do the volume mounts. Volume mounts. First one is data. For the data, they give the path. That mount path equal to Redis master data. And second one is going to be a config map. Redis config. Basically, this and this should match. This and this should match. Okay, and then mount path equal to Redis, sorry, slash Redis slash master. Okay, so making sure it is master. Okay, this we are completing it. ctl create -y. Okay, let's double check. Describe pod, right? Let me check deployment. ctl describe deployment Redis. Basically 2 mounts, which is good. Config, and then there's one config map. Okay, I think it's good. So we completed all the 5 questions. I'm going to end the questions. So this will also give you the score. Since I did several times, that's why for the first time when you are doing, you might face some challenges. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe it. Thank you.